Rico namora pobre.
I had a bad itch to play a new FPS. So on YouTube, I searched for FPS games I can play in 2021, and I found a video listing FPS games to play. In the video, the man mentions the game in question, Diabotical, a game that plays like the FPS games of old, like Quake. And this piqued my interest. I've played a few FPS games in my day, but I really only played two seriously, Blacklight Retribution and Urban Terror. Out of the two, the more important one to note is Urban Terror, not only because it was the one I played the most of, but it originally came from Quake 3 as a mod, and then it became its own game. Because of the type of game that it was, and its origin, I felt that I could jump in the game with the same skill set and do a passable job as a competitive player. Wrong. I should have saw this coming a mile away, but my brain couldn't register that, dude, it's a different game, before it was too late. The games could not feel any more different, I swear. Urban Terror departed from the Quake mechanics big time. Let me backtrack a bit. When I started up the tutorial, the first thing I tried to do was attempting to circle jump. This was a movement mechanic you could do in Urban Terror that could get you from point A to point B really quickly. In Diabotical, you can dash and keep the momentum with holding the jump button after the dash. It's not circle jumping, but it's something. Not only that, all these guns work completely differently from traditional guns, barring the point-and-click rifle and the machine gun. The point-and-click rifle is the closest to a sniper, but it doesn't kill in one hit. It gets stronger the more you hit with it, so it stays in base damage in my hands. And the machine gun is a simple hit-scan gun. With the movement speed and gunplay combined, I should have realized that the game was vastly different much sooner, but no. The first mode I tried and failed at was Free-for-All. Free-for-All is every jabroni for themselves. There are 8 players total, and you start with the machine gun. If you want more guns, along with power-ups, you are going to have to find them on your own on the map, or get a pity weapon for being in the bottom half of the scoreboard. So yeah, I'm hot garbage. While I did get some kills, most of it was death. In the first match, 2 players got in late, but I at least did marginally better than a piss drinker in my first game. I was quite proud of myself. The next match I was 4th, out of 4 players. And the last free-for-all match that I played, I got 5th, out of 7 players. The other 2 weren't in the full time. I did more matches of free-for-all, but we don't need to talk about those. After that, I decided to do 1v1 Duel. 1v1 Duel is a mode in Diabotical where 2 players fight for control and resources in the map. Once the time limit is reached, the duel is won when one of the players gets the golden frag. And you might be thinking, a new player doing a 1v1 is a terrible idea. Yeah, I see where I went wrong not having a broom. Go shove that broom up your ass! At the start of the week, I sat there for a while trying to get a match of free-for-all, and I got bored. I interrupt this video to bring some breaking news. Corthos Fellrin has went back to 1v1 Duel, only to get his ass beat. Again. But this time the player gave me advice. The advice is something that the tutorial gives you, and because of that, I was mildly annoyed. Though I didn't believe that there was any malice behind it. Just a dude trying to help another dude, you know? Anyway, I didn't dwell on that for too long, because I got sucked into a 4v4 wipeout. 4v4 wipeout is a round-based mode where they give you a full loadout, rather than give you just the machine gun. In Wipeout, the respawn times increase with each elimination in the team. The goal is to, you guessed it, wipe the enemy team. And did I do well my first time in? No. But I like the mode more than free-for-all and duel, which is odd because normally I hate team games and prefer solo games or 1v1. I guess it's because it's not as chaotic as free-for-all, and it's not like cock and ball torture for me like in 1v1s. I played Wipeout only twice this week, even though I wanted to play more of it. In those 2 matches, I noticed that you can rocket jump without hurting yourself, but that's all I picked up from them. I definitely want to play this mode as much as I can. Another mode I played was Free-for-All Insta-Gib. It's simply free-for-all, but you only use one weapon, the point-and-click rifle, and everyone dies in 1 hit. I figured I wouldn't do too badly here, because I can usually get in a hit, but I'd never be able to finish my food, so to speak. Thinking back to these Insta-Gib matches that I think I did a little bit better than the normal free-for-all mode, and especially Wipeout. However, I still sucked, and that's okay, I guess. Besides all that, nothing else exciting happened this week. I did notice, however, that playing matches in the morning is next to impossible, so I would have to play at night. And during the night, I would try to get as many free-for-all matches as I possibly could. I just wish I could get a match where I didn't suck massive dick. I noticed a small bit of improvement in my gameplay as time went on, as my aim was getting slightly better. I was slowly becoming one with the egg bots, and at this point I would slowly gravitate towards certain weapons. The rocket launcher, the super shotgun, and the blaster. The rocket launcher and the shotgun deal damage even if you don't get a direct hit, especially the rocket launcher, because of the splash damage, if it hits the ground near the enemy. It's much easier to get kills with it, and if you don't have the crosshair completely on the enemy, with the super shotgun it's okay, you'll still get some damage in. And not to mention the long range shot isn't half bad either. And the blaster does high damage per shot, but the projectiles aren't hit scan, so you have to lead your shots predicting where they're gonna go. Also, I guess you could climb walls with it. But how about the matches, eh? Can you say free for all? Yeah, more like free for all these nuts in your mouth. I actually played less this week than the last week because I was sick of it. However, my gunplay still got better, I think. What about Wipeout? I was able to get 3 matches. The first match I got 5 frags, 4 frags in the second, and in the third, I also got 5. Basically, this was a spectator mode if you're picking up what I'm putting down. By the time I reached the 3rd Wipeout game, I learned to stick with my teammates. As obvious as that sounds. Don't go unless you see someone else goes in. Don't assume that they're going to go in just because you did. You are better off holding the position, rather than jumping in, assuming, yeah, I'm finna get these bitches, because you aren't. Something new I tried this week was the training mode, and specifically the mid-range tracking training. Not that I'm saying that I'm a flick shot god, but I figured my tracking abilities were a lot worse off than my flick shots. In doing this, I figured I would improve my skills if I worked at it with this mode. That said, at this point, I told myself that I'd get good, and that next week I would try hard. In the mid-range tracking training, I would average 6 to 7 frags, with my accuracy being around 27 to 30. I would be in the 30s more often than not near the end of the week. Is that good? No, of course not. But it's also my current best. So, let's go balls deep. Now, would anything come out of using the training mode? Well, on Monday of that week, I got my first win. Kind of. I played in a free-for-all room, and just as the match was about to end, the person that was in first place got disconnected. And hey, that isn't bad at all. I was able to say I played well enough to stay in second place for most of the match. The only issue was that I didn't record it, which almost made me cry. Almost. However, with free-for-all, nothing else notable happened. Now for the only thing I care about. 4v4 Wipeout. I didn't just win 1 Wipeout match, not just 2, not just 3, but 4 out of 6 Wipeout matches. In one of the matches, I didn't get a single kill in it because I was lagging, but that's besides the point. At least in the ones I didn't lag in, I was proud of my performance, especially in the matches that I won. My strategy was of course sticking with the team and playing more passively, due to my lacking skill. While in the mode you generally stick with your team, I was mostly doing it because I wasn't confident in my gunplay, enough to get a frag myself, even if it is to finish someone off. It was more important to hold down the area with your team, and to slowly move in with them. If I was better at the game, I would try to flank, but in order to do that, I should be better at my 1v1. Oh, and when you are the last one alive, don't go out of your way to die, and protect yourself. Only fight if you have to, and be quick about it. Kinda like this, actually. I even got a good job from my teammates. Made me feel real good. Even the last day I documented my time here, I made sure it was a wipeout match, and I made sure I won. I got a score of 4 frags and 20 deaths, and I felt, at that point, I peaked as a player, maybe as a gamer, so I stopped. Diabotical, a game I played for 22 hours, 21 minutes, and 1 second. That 1 second is important. I didn't come into this with a specific goal, besides, to try something new and have fun with it. I didn't have fun the first 2 weeks. I was practically forcing myself to stick with it. And I can tell you, personally, the 1v1 duels did not make it easier playing this game. However, the 3rd and 4th weeks, I was feeling a lot better about the game. Did I have any regrets during this whole thing? Well, I would say part of me wishes that I should have joined the Diabotical Discord during my time playing. The community for this game is pretty cool. If you want to play this game, you should probably join the Discord. And if somehow Discord dies, you can just join the subreddit. They're even the ones that tell me that the machine gun isn't trash. But listen, I get that you're all fine with it, but I personally think the gun should at least be buffed a little. Also, I'm surprised a community like this can even exist, even with a dev that doesn't market the game at all. And that's a shame, because I really do think that the game is cool, and they could do a lot more to market it. And hey, I made a review of it. If I could get one person to watch that review and want to play the game, I think I did my part. So, would I play Diabotical in the future? I'd almost give it a definitive no, given what happened the first 2 weeks. But even getting slightly better in this game sends me into a euphoric orgasm and puts me in a coma. If I had friends, I'd be down to group them up and set up a free-for-all match, or wipeout even. But I don't, so I can't. Will I venture off into other arena FPS games? No. I've seen some of the options out there and they just don't quite appeal to me. Despite what I think of 2GD, Diabotical is just too good. However, I say this now, and my opinions in the future can always change. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed hearing my experience in my first arena FPS. That's it for me. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean a lot if you did. And if you want updates on what I'm going to do next, please follow me on Twitter.